Hello, everyone. Let's do some newspaper reading and talk about the chaos that is taking place in this country. So first of all, this reading in this post is for advanced learners of English, although if you have an intermediate level of English, you can get by, and I think it might be even helpful to you. And this post will be 90% in English, and there will be a few bits and bobs in Portuguese. So this is my introduction. It's mayhem in England. Mayhem is chaos. It's complete chaos, havoc, chaotic. Inflation is at 9%. Chaos in the government, soaring electricity prices. So prices going up, electricity prices going up. And God knows immigrants don't have 1 minute of peace. As if being an immigrant, even in a thriving country, wasn't hard enough. So thriving country. Thriving country is a country that is doing well economically. For example, England is a country that does well economically, generally speaking. But in the last few months, things have gone downhill ever since Brexit, really. So it's difficult for British people, of course it is. But I think it's even harder for us immigrants because we have to face prejudice, we have to face life in a different language, and then there is all this chaos happening now. So it's just like it's even harder. Anywho, shall we talk about this vocabulary here? This was the front page of The Guardian yesterday evening, and I'm not going to talk about the articles themselves. I'm not going to go into much detail, but I'm going to walk you through the headlines and talk about these words that are very interesting. So the first one is rail strikes. RMT calls Johnson's agency staff plans a gimmick. First of all, when you start reading the newspapers, you don't need to know absolutely everything. So for example, I don't know what these agency staff plans are. I don't know what Johnson has proposed to the RMT, but it might be interesting for you to know what RMT stands for, which is something that I'm going to explain it to you, and gimmick. Very important word in English. So RMT stands for National Union of Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers. Maritime. This is a very strange word for me. Maritime. So National Union of Rail, Maritime and Transport Workers. Então é o Sindicato Nacional de Transporte, de Trabalhadores de Transportes Ferroviários, Marítimos e Transportes em geral. Okay? So, and gimmick is something that looks attractive but has no real purpose. Example, when I go to stationery shops, papelarias, yeah, and I see all those colorful and shining pens and notepads and books, notebooks, whatever, my mind thinks straight away, I want them all. I want to buy everything that is here in this stationery. However, after I buy 2 or 3 things and I bring them home, I realize that shining pen, for example, a shining pen. Oh my God, so cute. Oh, then you start writing and you see that shining pen, that cute pen, is nothing more than a big pen in a nice armor. So you look at the pen and you say, oh, so shiny, so cute. Oh, I'm going to take home. And then you start writing. It's just like a normal big pen. That's it. It's a gimmick. Because you think you will start writing beautifully with that pen. You think that will change your life somehow. Like we want to fool ourselves. And then it's just a gimmick. It's something that doesn't have a real purpose. You know what I mean? And this is exactly what RMT is saying, that Johnson's agency staff plans are a gimmick, something that doesn't have a real purpose. Now you know. Now, the next one is bemused. And Jesus, we're going to walk 25 kilometers. London tourists bemused by rail strikes. So bemused is when you are confused. I think bemused is what the state of everyone in this country and everyone in the world at this very moment, even in Brazil, whatever. It's like you're seeing all those mad things going on and you're just like, this is bemused. You know, it's confused. You don't understand what is going on, right? So imagine you spend money to come to London. You want to go sightseeing, you want to walk about, and then you find out that everything is on strike. All the transports, none of the transports are working. Sorry, and you spend a lot of money to come to this country. Can you imagine? Now the next one is picket, and here, this is about politics, and you don't need to know much. You don't need to know the nitty gritty. I'm going to put this one here. Nitty gritty. You don't need to know the details of what's going on politically, but it might be interesting for you to know what this vocabulary is about. So, front benchers. So you know that in the Parliament, in the House of Commons, there is the benches, os bancos, and then front benchers, the people that sit in front. You know that the Labour is Partido do Trabalhador, so Labour Party. So the front benchers of the Labour Party challenge, desafiaram Stammer, the leader of the Labour Party, to join pickets. In pickets, I put a definition here, but basically it's the protesters. So the protesters, the ones that are striking, okay? The ones that are striking. So we don't need to know much about politics, but what we can gather from this headline is that there is a type of conflict going on within the Labour Party. Okay, so front benchers challenge Stammer to join pickets. Defy, challenge, desafiar. Some type of conflict is going on. Okay, of course, if you want to know more, you have to read the article. Now, this one, the last one about politics. No, I think that, no, the one before last. There's another one, but bear with me. So Stammer is right not to dance to Tory tunes over strikes, but silence is a losing strategy. So first of all, who said that? Probably Rafael Behr, who is the writer. And you see there is quotes here, aspas. And Stammer, again, the leader of the Labour Party, is right not to dance to Tory tunes. Tunes, iTunes, música, over strikes. So what Rafael is saying is that Stammer is right not to buy into the stories of the Tory party. Let me explain to you. These strikes have caused an immense disruption across the country, and everyone wants to blame someone. So the two parties, Labour Party and the Tory party, which is the party of Boris Johnson, the Tory ones, they want to blame one another. It's my fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. No, it's my fault. So you see, it's happening all this back and forth. And this writer here is saying that Stammer is right not to buy into this all this kerfuffle, essa bagunça, né? esse bafafá that is taking place. And I translated that as dançar com a música do Tories. So Tories are like, oh yeah, you were the one to blame, you were the one to blame, you were the one to blame. And Stammer is trying to be on the fence about it. On the fence, ele tá tentando ficar em cima do muro. He's trying not to take sides. So he's trying not to dance to Tory tunes over strikes. E esse over, ele aparece muito em textos jornalísticos e ele significa normalmente sobre nesse contexto, tá? Sobre. Você vai ver isso direto em jornais, por exemplo, fight over something, briga sobre alguma coisa. Raiza, por que não é about? About é muito informal, gente. Linguagem jornalística, linguagem escrita vai ser over, ok? Beleza. Now, weary resignation among passengers as rail strikes begin. This one, when I read this headlines the first time, I really didn't get what it meant. I didn't get it right off the bat. And I even wrote that here. Right off the bat means, let me underline. And I'll explain to you in a moment. Right off the bat, de cara. I didn't get it. I had to read the article. Now, weary is tiring, exhausted. And resignation has a few meanings, being one of them, when you resign from a job. When you quit your job, you have to hand over your resignation letter to your boss. and you need to say, okay, I appreciate the time that I worked here, but you know, it's time for me to go. I'm quitting my job. I'm quitting my job. I'm resigning. So this is what resignation means. However, in this context, it means when you give in, when you stop resisting, you stop resisting. So the passengers, they were traveling across the country. They were trying to commute from one place to another. They were trying to do their best. They were trying to kind of, how can I say, override the strike. They were trying to be immune to the strike, but they couldn't, because it affects all of us. So they did like this. Weary resignation. It's just when you just stop resisting. You just you're tired and you just say, that's it for me. I give in. So that's what these headlines means. These headlines mean weary resignation. Just, you know, you're just tired and you just say, that's it for me. I'm just going to accept it. I'm just going to accept it. Okay. And of course they were cross. Cross, it means angry. It's a British idiom. Yes, they were cross. Some of them at least. Others are supportive of the strikes. But all of them had to bite the bullet. And bite the bullet. É engolir o sapo. É engolir a bagunça. You have to bite the bullet. Because it affects us all. Now, the last one for today is this one I got it from the LBC. No relief from Rishi. Hopes of tax cuts dashed until 11% inflation threat eases. Now, this guy, Rishi Sunak, he's the Minister of Finance. There is something else. Minister of Finance and something else. He's a billionaire. Anyway, hopes, esperanças de cortes nas taxas, né? Dashed. Until 11% inflation threat. Feel the air. Threat, ameaça. Eases, se tranquilize. Esse ease é muito bom porque lembra até essa frase aqui, I'm more at ease. Quando você quer falar assim, tô mais tranquilo. Você não vai ouvir um gringo falando, I'm more calm. Não que I'm more calm esteja errado, não tá? Mas assim, ou tranquilo. Eles vão falar assim, I feel more at ease, I'm more at ease. Esse I'm more at ease significa isso, eu tô mais tranquilo. Então esse ease, essa coisa do até que a ameaça aí até que a inflação chegue a 11%, não vai cortar nada. Ou seja, gente, eu não sei o que olha, Deus ajude a gente, porque olha só. So this guy is loaded. Loaded is a colloquial vocabulary to say he's bloody rich. He's very, very rich. He's a billionaire. And he's saying that he's not going to cut any taxes until 11% inflation threat. Até que a ameaça da inflação aí de 11% se acalme. I really don't understand the logic of that. I really don't. To me, it's nonsensical. But anyway. So, I know it's a lot of information to take in. If you like this newspaper reading, please support my content by liking this video or buying me a coffee. Okay, and soon, by the end of this week, I will show you some new services that I will provide here on Buy Me a Coffee. Is a more personalized service related to English pronunciation, English enunciation, and bits and bobs that I think you might like it. Okay, thank you so much. If you have any questions, pop your comment down below and I will answer them as soon as I see them. Okay, have a lovely weekend and talk soon.